Hello, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida Power BI user group. Thank you for making the time to be here with us for another exciting presentation. And although this is the last presentation for 2021, stay tuned. And remember, we are already set for the next presentation right here, as you can see. Now, if you have any questions or comments during the presentation, remember to use the live chat. And if you're not using the live chat, all you got to do, subscribe to use the live chat. And then you're going to be able to interact and ask questions during the presentation. Now, also, folks, let me know how is the sound, the video, and most important, let us know where are you located. I would like to go there and check it out, as we generally get an audience from all over the world. As said before, today, what we'll be having is another great presentation. I hope that you got your DAX on the road. And for that, let me bring in with us here our distinguished presenter, Fowmy. Hey, Fowmy, how do you do?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you, Adreno. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right, then. Thanks for having us here. And thanks for making the time to be here with us, sharing the great knowledge there. And we are looking forward to a fantastic presentation there.
Definitely. I'm also excited. We are towards the end of the year. So this is the last session you are going to have in your meetup, and I want to make it a good one, definitely. Hopefully people will benefit from this session on DAX.
Absolutely, and you're going to help us to get better on DAX by addressing those common mistakes. And before we get started real quick, let us know where are you located, folks. You're on the audience. Use the live chat. All you have to do is to subscribe to use the live chat and let us know your location. So let us know your location here for me. Where are you located at?
Right now, I am located in Saudi Arabia. I've been here for quite some time now. I work for McDonald's here for finance and business intelligence, basically. And I'm originally from Sri Lanka. It's a tiny island in the Indian Ocean. So it's a nice place to visit. I would like to invite everyone there. And that's where I'm from, basically.
All right. And can you tell us a little bit about your role?
Okay. I started my career with finance. I'm a chartered accountant. I work under finance for about 10 plus years at McDonald's itself. I really had a lot of experience in business transformation through VBA and a couple of software applications we had those days. And I was heavily dealing with data and systems. So this gradually got me into the data, I would say, arena. And thereon, last couple of years, not connected to finance much. I opted for business intelligence and data, basically. So that's where I am now.
All right. I see that you bring both parts of the entire business here, where you understand the business side as well as the technical side, where now you are able to provide better and more robust solutions there.
Of course, yes. This has greatly helped me. Me being in finance in the past and now in business intelligence role actually gives me a lot of opportunity for me to look into various departments, various processes, totally understand the company and their business process. So it's easy for me to formulate any solution in terms of data and reporting and so on.
Excellent. So that is quite an experience there, and to make it better. Now, let me take a quick look here on the comment section, see where is everybody from here real quick. Hello, Steve. And John from New Jersey. So here we have it. Someone in the U.S. as well. We got Christian here from Quebec, Kinsey Falls.
Great.
Hey, welcome,
Okay.
Christian.
Yeah,
And
welcome everybody.
Sushant, welcome. And we have from Chicago.
Oh,
All right, so we have North America here solid so far. Where else we have people from here? Stephen is outside. He's on Quebec. Oh, YF from Puerto Rico. Hello, YF from Puerto Rico. Hey, West Coast representative here. We have Ledon from San Diego. Welcome, Ledon. Said from New
great.
Jersey. And hello, Christian and Venkatesh. And folks, pardon me if I'm missing or misspelling your name, okay? And we have Venkatesh out from India. There we go, Hyderabad.
Hi,
Welcome, Venkatesh.
Yeah.
Yes, Said said the financial analytics, perfect combination. Wish I had this with me.
Yeah, definitely. It goes a long way.
And we also have Erica here from Florida. Welcome, Erica. And Collins from Manchester, UK. So we are going around the globe here, folks. We are here in North America, Europe, Asia. That's awesome to see that, And welcome, Mohammed. Very, very awesome there. All right, folks, remember to like the video, comment, subscribe so you can use the live chat to enter your questions during the presentation. Now, if you're watching this video after the live stream, use the comment section to enter your questions and I will relay to Fowmy here. So he will follow up and we will post your answer. And remember, the comments and the likes are very important for the success of the channel so we can keep bringing some top quality presenters like Fowmy. Now, Fowmy, can you just give us a little bit of information about the session today, please?
Okay, today's session is going to be on common DAX mistakes that newbies make when they get into doing calculations, formulas in DAX. So I just want to point out some of the common mistakes that I have encountered. I normally help people in the Power BI community forum. So from where I have gathered some of the common mistakes. So I just wanted to share with your audience here today.
All right, awesome. So that sounds very interesting. Just to finalize here, as we start to transition to Fowmy to start the presentation, I got the okay from you all that the sound, the video, it's all great. Just remember, use the live chat to enter your questions during the live stream. I'll relay to Fowmy during the transition points. Now, if you're watching us after the presentation, all you have to do is to use the comment section and also drop your like, comments as well. All right, Fowmy, are you ready?
Yeah, good to go.
Excellent. So let's have it over here and bring you in. And it's all you.
Thank you, Adriano. Thanks again. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for attending today. And I'm here in Saudi Arabia. It's 8 past now. So let me just give you a brief introduction about myself. Already, Adriano has introduced. I'm ERP plus taking care of the company enterprise resource planning system and the business intelligence. I'm a finance professional, as I said before. Also, I have my sidekick of consulting services. I have founded actually ExcelFort Consulting a couple of years back. So I provide consulting and training on Microsoft, Power BI, and modern Excel. So you can now reach me through my YouTube channel, where I have put up some nice videos on Power BI, especially DAX. And my handle on Twitter is ExcelFort, and my LinkedIn profile is there. You can reach me, connect with me. About my hobbies, I basically like to swim, have like coffee, and DAX, of course. So let's move on with today's session. Let's see what we have today. So common DAX mistakes in Power BI. When it comes to Power BI, DAX is one of the most important pillars, right? So if you are good at DAX, you can solve a lot of calculations and make your Power BI journey better, right? So these common mistakes I have found in my community forum support, wherever I go and help people out. I just noted that there are some common mistake usually people complain of, like come out with. So I picked a couple of those mistakes and try to share with you and show you how to avoid them, how to correct them. Okay, good. Before that, let's look at the learning part of DAX. This is why these mistakes happen, is basically due to not understanding the key concepts and certain other important points related to DAX. The first and foremost is the concepts, the key concepts in DAX. As you know, I hope you all have started dealing with DAX, and maybe you have. I'm not sure maybe in which level you are in right now, but I assume this is for beginners as well as for advanced users. They will also pick up something from my presentation today. So evaluation context is very important to learn if you want to learn DAX at the first place. And then iterators, where you have table functions, you have tables, you need to iterate and get the raw context. Then context transition, this is a powerful feature with DAX, and the expanded tables. If you are comfortable with evaluation contexts and iterators, you are pretty much there. 50, 60%, 70%, I would say, covered. The rest will make you a DAX expert or a ninja, right? And then to learn DAX, the mindset is very important, right? People come from Excel and other programming languages like SQL and C# or whatever. The thinking, the mindset has to be different, because it's context based, right? DAX is different. It works on context. And to improve, you must practice. Reading DAX books and notes will not help you unless you do enough practice. While doing practice, you need to make sure you learn from your mistakes. If you find a wrong calculation, investigate and try to find out why this has happened, how this is calculated. You will learn a lot from that. There is no trial and error actually in DAX. You got to learn the basics and apply according to what you learn, right? So if a formula is wrong, sometimes I have seen people, they apply, let's say, all as a calculate modifier. If it doesn't work, they just try other options like all selected, all except, and somehow they see the answer, they're happy, they go ahead, but they don't understand the effects they are creating, side effects. So it's very important you learn the basic concepts and master your DAX. Finally, community.powerbi.com. This is a great place for you to go and hang out. I usually spend my time there solving problems, questions people present over here. So when you solve, you do two things. You refresh your knowledge, you learn a lot from the solutions that others provide, right? And also you help the community, right, with their problems. So in addition to that, you find a lot of resources on internet to learn and better your DAX knowledge. Hope that was clear and helpful. Let's get into the demo session now. So in today's demonstration, I'm going to show you these common DAX mistakes. When you talk about mistakes, you can categorize these mistakes into performance related, right? Errors related. You won't be able to write a measure, it throws an error. That's a kind of mistakes people make. And today I'm going to focus on calculation. What do I mean by calculation? Basically, people create calculation, it works, it doesn't throw an error, but the expected results is not there. Oh, the result will not give you the right answer, I would say. When you change the context, when you apply different filters, it will give you unexpected answers. So we'll look at that sort of categories. Let me open my demo file now. Okay. I hope you all can see my Power BI file.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So in this file, I have got 12 examples of common DAX mistakes. Let me go to the first one. You must be wondering how it's created. This is using the latest navigation. Under insert, you will have insert navigation, right? Under buttons, you will have insert navigation. Page navigator, actually. So under page navigator, using page navigator, I have created it so you can click on any button and go to that particular page. That's a small side tip for you, right? So let's get into the first DAX mistake. Okay, zero and blank issue. So the task here is show recorded. I have to show as recorded for each date if the value is greater than or equal to 0. Otherwise, just show not recorded, right? I have dates, value, and this is the column where I have inserted my measure. Let me show you how the measure is constructed. Okay, so I simply take sum of values. Before I start with the measure, let me just show you the table. This is just a small, simple table, right? Okay, so this is the table I'm using for my first example. I've got some dates, some values. I've got 0 and 2 blanks, right? So let me go back now to the first problem. And this is my measure. This sums the value and check if it is equal to blank, then it says it's not recorded. Otherwise, it's recorded, right? It seems there is no problem here, right? But if you look at 0, 0 is supposed to be shown as recorded here, because my condition is if it is equal to blank, then mark it as not recorded. But unfortunately, it's marking not recorded for both 0 and blank. So why is it happening? The reason behind this is DAX considers blank, this blank, and 0 as blank, right? 0 is considered blank in this case. So to overcome this, to solve this, I have two methods. First, you can use double equal sign. It means strict evaluation. By doing this, it makes sure it only checks it's strictly equal to blank. Let's check the results now. Now you are getting the expected results. I have two blanks where you see not recorded, right? This is one way. And the next one is without using this, there is a function called is blank. You would have used it, but this is handy. Is blank. you get the same results. So either you can use strict evaluation or is blank. This will check for true blank. So the problem here is it's just a small table here. You can easily identify where it's blank and zero. But when it comes to a total amount, like I have here, a measure. So here I just want to show the count of 0 records here, right? So it says 6. Actually, I don't have 6. I have one here, 2, 3. I've got 4. But here it's showing 6. Let's get into the measure. The measure counts. It calculates count of rows of this table where value is equal to 0. So here the problem is 0 and blank both are counted. So what I get to do here is I can assign evaluation. Now I get 4. So this is a first example where you handle 0 and blank. Great. Adriano, if you have any simple questions which doesn't take time, I can definitely, give quick answers and move on. Okay. Problem number 2, sales band. Before I show this, let me just show you a small data model that I have here. I've got a dates table, a products table, and a sales data. It's connected using many-to-one relationship between the date and the products table. Right. Let me show you what I have in my sales data table. This is a sample data that comes with Power BI desktop file. I just did a small modification here. I get the date, segment, country, the product ID, unit sold, the cost price, sales price, and the salesperson. Okay, I've got just 700 records. It's a simple file. And the products table where I have the product category, and the dates table, right? Good. So here I have inserted in a matrix salesperson and the total sales amount. Let me show you the measure for the total sales amount. So which use SumX to get price into units sold and get the total sales, right? It's a simple measure. Now the challenge is create sales band by salesperson, where less than 6 million is low, greater than or equal to 6 million it's medium, and it's above 8 million, you can tag it as high. So low, medium, high. So I have created a measure here. If you look at it, above 8 million equal low, above 8 million is supposed to be high, but I get medium here. Others look okay. Let's look into the measure. Okay. So what do I do here? First, I create a variable and assign the total sales. Using switch, I check if total sale is less than 6 million, tag it as low, greater than or equal to 6 million, it's medium, and it's above or equal to 8 million, it's high. It's correct. Low, medium, high. In that case, why do I get my results wrong there? If you notice closely, the order is very important. Let's look at this. If you look at the first amount, we have 8.6 million, right? So is it less than 6 million? No. It's greater than or equal to 6 million? Yes, medium. So the first one, whatever gets qualified, will be the output. And also it's greater than 8 million. So the order is very important. To solve this, we can rearrange this. Always make sure you go from the high to low. To move this line, you can just cut and paste, but let me just share with you a tip using DAX shortcut. Using Alt key, hit Alt key on your keyboard and press up arrow, it will just move. High. Now I'm in this line, I just want to move it down, Alt down arrow. Now high, medium, low. Let me fix the comma here. I don't need one over there. Yeah. That's how you should set up your logic. Let me confirm the measure. Now you get equal or above 8 million high. This okay, less than 6 million is low. Great. Let's move on to the third example. Okay, blank grand total. Let me explain it. Show blank for grand total. So I have the salesperson again, the total sales. So this is the measure I have created. So the requirement is just to show blank if it is equal, if it is at the grand total level. At the total level, I just want to show blank. Let me see if it works. Right now it works, but if I select a single salesperson here, one selection, it doesn't hide it, right? If I select multiple, yes, it works. But when it comes to single selection, it doesn't work. Let's investigate. I'm using has one value here. Has one value check if the value, if there is one value, right? Then it inserts the total sales, otherwise it's blank. So in these lines, you get one value definitely. But when it comes to this line, of course, there are multiple salespersons here. No filter on salesperson. So it's giving you blank. But why when I select one here, it still gives one? Because one is selected over here, right? Definitely. Now, to solve this, first we need to look at the function that is used here. I have used has one value. If I use another function called is in scope, what this does is it checks for one value also and makes sure the salesperson is part of the query, part of the visual grouping here. If that is true, that's the time it will also make sure it has one value plus it is part of this visual. Let me confirm this. Yeah. Now you see, even if I select one value, I don't get anything there. It's blank. So I've seen people use has one value without realizing. If someone selects just one over here, they give blank. You could apply this any scenario where you can get similar sort of calculation problems. Let's move to the next problem. This is about calculated columns, not only measures. I'm just trying to show you some calculated columns as well. From this onwards, I'm also trying to teach you some of the key concepts in DAX, where the evaluation context transition, expanded table, and iterators. So these are very important. By doing these common mistakes, I'll be able to demonstrate them as well. So let me first see. The question here is add a calculated column in products table for total units. So this is the expected results. I have my product table. I want to see the total unit for each product. Right? It's not a measure, it's a calculated column. Let me get back to my data wave, products table. So this is my product table. I'm going to add a calculated column. I can click on new column. I'll name it as total units, let's say column. I already have a measure. So I want to sum from the sales table units sold. instructions I am giving to this formula is go and calculate the total units for each product here, right? Let me confirm. I'm getting 562,000 everywhere. This is because there is no filtering happening here. It's just giving me the whole total units in this table. Sales data, I have the total units. This is getting the total of the whole column. Why this is happening? Okay, let's talk about some concepts here. Right now, I am in a table, right? When you add a calculated column, you are iterating over the table and creating a row context. It goes row by row and do the calculation over here. But when I say sum total, the sales data, when I say sum units sold, the sales data is not filtered by this particular product, right? It looks at the sales data without any filters being applied. So how do you push these filters onto that sales table, filter it by character, this particular first product ID, and get the results? To do that, we need to make sure we convert this line, whatever fields you have here, into a filter and push it to the data model over here to the products, and that products table will filter the sales data table and get me the correct number of units, total number of units, right? So to do that, calculate is the function which has the capability to convert a row context into a filter context. It will convert any row context into an equal filter context. Let's watch, see how it's done. No arguments required in this case, just say calculate. Now you are getting the correct total number of units. This is because now it's converting this line as a filter, right? These three columns have been passed into the model, and the correct total is calculated over here. So this is very important concept for you to understand, the row context and the context transition. You must be thinking, okay, I have the relationship, why it doesn't get my data? When you are in the row context, the relationship is not relevant. It doesn't use the relationship. There are other functions to use, like related table to get data, but to convert the row context into a filter context, you need calculate to utilize the relationship, right? So this is the way you get your total units. Fine. Let's move on to the problem number 5, where I have two problems with ranking. So I have
Just sorry
yeah,
for interrupting, Fowmy.
yes,
Folks, as you can see, Fowmy here covering some very important aspects. We want to make sure that you are clear on it. He just covered row context and the transition, how it applies, the use of calculate. So let us know if it is real clear. If you have any questions, drop a question in the comments and or in the live chat. All right, back to you, Fowmy. Thank you.
thank you very much. So let me continue with example number 5, where I have got ranking problems. I've got two ranks measures. Let me see what I have in my matrix. I have segment and salesperson. So here the task is rank salespersons by segment on gross sales, let's say sales and units sold. So the first, under each segment, I want to rank the salespersons based on their sales amount, right? This should be 150. This is the number 1, number 2, and 3, and so on. But I see number 1 everywhere. So this, let's look at the measure. What's wrong with this? So rank by salesperson. Okay, let's look at the measure. Okay, so I use the rank x function. rankx function asks for as its first parameter a table and an expression to rank by, right? I need to provide a table. So I'm giving here salesperson. When I say values, what happens is it takes the current filter context and see the visible values from there, right? It doesn't take all salesperson here. So that's the reason you get one here, because at every row you see just one salesperson here. Okay, to rank it needs the whole salesperson under this channel partner over here to rank it, right? How do you get that? The function is all selected, which will give you, which will remove the filter from salesperson within this area. Now let's check how it works. Okay, now you get the correct ranking for salesperson. How about the next one? Next one is also giving one everywhere. Let's go and look at it. rankx. I have used all selected in this case, salesperson. I am totaling units sold, right? So the first part is fine. The second part is supposed to be my expression. Yeah, I've given the expression based on the units sold, but I'm getting one everywhere. If you look at my previous example where I talk about context transition, this is the problem again. Now you have your salesperson over here. So to calculate units sold, the unit sold is coming from sales data table, but it doesn't filter by this particular salesperson. Let's take salesperson A. It doesn't filter the sales data, right? For that, we need to convert this first entry, salesperson A, as a filter. So rankx is having here a row context, right? It goes through this particular table. This is a virtual table, a list of salesperson. It iterates line by line. So to convert this row context into filter context, we can use calculate. This is one way. Now you should get your correct ranking, right? People complain they don't get the correct ranking. So to check, I have seen calculate has not been used, or the other way is like we already have a measure that sums the total units sold. So instead of this expression, I can also use total units, which basically summing the total units. Okay, I'm getting the same results, but I think you must be having a question now. Why there is no calculate here? How does it work? The idea is whenever you create a measure, there is a hidden calculate wrapped around it. That's how it works, to use different filter contexts. So all measures are wrapped around a calculate. So that's the reason we don't have to provide a calculate here. Fine, good. Let me know if you have any questions from what I have covered so far. If not, let me move to the next example. Okay. Yeah.
We have a question here from John. Is a bit outside, but he was asking about, I sometimes get circular error when add calculated columns with calculated function. Can you discuss what it means and how to avoid?
Okay, actually, it's a long topic. What I can do.
You want to answer more to that?
Yeah, I will definitely answer it at the end. Also, I'll give you a good reference from SQLBI how to solve that. The quick answer is like basically when you are in a table. Now, if you want to add use calculate, it uses the whole table, right, as filter here. So again, you are referring the same column again and again. So I can explain it with an example at the end and share with you a reference. Don't worry.
Outstanding.
Okay, good. So now let's,
go ahead. I will ask you later. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, fine. So the next example, let's look at how it's calculated over here. Now I've got again salesperson and total units, right? So here the task is calculate average monthly units by salesperson. So I'm getting here average monthly, but the problem is it's incorrect. Let's look at the average formula, right? Okay, so here the average is averaging just the units sold from the table, sales table. The problem here is the requirement here is to calculate by monthly, right? So if you look at the sales data table, if you apply an average on the total units sold, it will just average by the granularity of the records in your table. So when you say monthly, you need to average it by monthly. For that, let's go back to the measure. I can say average X, which is an iterator, average X over values of, I have my dates table. Let me use calendar year month, so which will cover month and year together, so it's unique. And what I need to do here is now use some total units sold. Okay. What do? I create a virtual table, right? Year and month. For each year and month, I just need to get the total sum of units. At the end, it will average it. That's what average X do here is going to do here. So let me, there is a problem I will explain in this calculation. I purposely did it. Okay, it's getting 58,000. It's not average. Why is that? Because this is total units, this is average units. It's supposed to give me something different. So why am I getting the same results? Again, if you look at this formula, there is no filter context here, right? You need to wrap it around, calculate. Now I am getting the correct monthly units per salesperson, right? So this way, or you can use, like I did before, the total units. Both are similar, right? So you have to be very careful about using measures, using expressions within your iterator functions. Number 7, okay, sales commission. We all love commissions, but the important thing is we do the right calculation. So calculate 10% sales commission for each salesperson having gross sales over 7 million. Okay, so here I have salesperson and the total sales amount. So the sales commission is calculated as 10% each line. So above 7 million. I have sorted this so that first 3 is correct. I am getting the 7 million here, right? So this part is correct. But when it comes to the total, this is where the problem is. It doesn't sum all these 3 numbers above, right? So it's getting a wrong number. What's the problem? This is a very common mistake people make. And let's have a look at the measure. Okay, so now what do we have? I'm checking if total sales is greater than 7 million, total sales into 10%, which is correct. So this works, this works. The problem is at the total level. I say total sales. What is the total sales? The total sales is 63.9 million. Yes, it's definitely above 7 million. It takes 10%. But newbies in Excel, in DAX, they think this is the amount that is the addition of the rows in the same column, right? Which is wrong. In DAX, every cell or every point is calculated based on the filter context that is surrounded by that particular value, right? So that's the way you need to think. You need to think you need to put yourself in particular value or cell, I would say here in this case, and think what I see. At this line, you see all the salesperson, right? Not only these three over here. So to do this, again, you need to iterate and find. Let's do it. For that, I can use sum x. I need the sum x of values of salesperson, right? Now I can say if total sale is greater than 7 million, take the sales and calculate it for 10%, right? Let's look at the calculation. So I'm going to iterate over each line, each salesperson, and calculate 10%. And then at the end, sum x will add that value. Even at this level, it is going to go through each and calculate. This is sort of sum if function, if you are familiar with Excel functions. Okay, so let me confirm this. Yeah, I get 2.4 million, which is the sum of these three numbers. I have the total here. So here it's much visible. You can look at it, right? Okay. Let's move on to the next example. Percentage of total. Percentage of total. I've got three scenarios. Let's look at it one by one, right? Okay. So I have here the question here is show segment gross sales percentage of respective category, adding up to 100%. Now the ask is, I have category, sales product category, and I have segment. So I have the total sales for each. So which is correct now? Basically, I am getting the sales percentage should be, all these percentages should be added up to 100%, right? 43%, which 15.7 million represent 43% out of 36 million. If you come here, 9.6 is 35% of 27 million, which is correct, right? Now, if you look on the left, I have a filter for the segment. I have segment here as well as here. Let me select these two segments. Now what happens? I don't get that 100% at each category level, right? So what is this number? Let's find out how the measure has been built. Then we will come to know what's wrong with our calculation. Segment sales. So I'm getting the total sales first, which is, let's say, in this line, 4.7 million, right? And then dividing it by total sales, removing the filter from the segment. So this is the segment. I am removing the filter, right, from the segment table. So if you look at the calculate modifier, this is calculate can modify, basically overwrite the filter context. It can clear and overwrite filters. In this case, it's clearing the filter from the segment column, right? Not only from here, it's clearing from the whole segment column, including everything. So it always gives all the values in the column. So I just want to restrict only to the values that are visible within my visual, right? Regardless of what is selected here. So what the problem here is the use of all. Let me see. So what is the function that will identify whatever is selected and clear the filter? So as the syntax goes, it says all selected, right? It makes sense. It means clear the filter from all selected values within my visual. Let's try now. Okay, so now if you look at it, I have selected 3 items from segment and you see 100% here. If I select everything, you still see the correct answer still works, right? Hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the second example where we'll deal with a different scenario. Same problem, but the solution is different. Let's see. calculate segment gross sales contribution percentage to respective category. It's showing 100% everywhere, right? Regardless whatever I select, I don't select, it doesn't matter, but it's supposed to show this percentage as a percentage of category total. Let's have a look at the measure over here. Okay, how do I do that? I use variables here. You see, first I assign the total sales to a variable, whatever in this line. Let's take this 15.7 million. This amount is first assigned to a variable. Next, I want to get this particular amount, 36.26 everywhere, right, to divide. And how can I do that? Like before, I take calculate the total sales, which is already been assigned by using the variable for total sales. So I have the total sales here. So I am passing my argument for calculate as all selected. I am clearing filter from all this, so I get 36. That's my idea, right? At the end, I return the value by taking total sales, dividing it by the segment total sales. So it seems correct, supposed to work. But the reason behind this, why it's not working, is let's look at the variable, how it behaves. Variable is a constant once it is assigned. At the time of assigning a value, you use the filter context and the amount is calculated. Once it's assigned, this cannot be changed, modified. Here the problem is inside calculate, I have used a variable. You should never use a variable if you want to modify that amount, change that amount. So whatever filters you passed here will not affect here, right? Affect this. It's same as, like, for example, if you take this 15.7 million, it's same as 15.7917. So it's not going to be affected by any filter, right? So what you have to do is you have to call the measure again, right? This way, this total sales is a measure, so it will be recalculated based on the modified filter context. Let's click yes. Yeah, great. Now we have the correct answer numbers over here. So if you change anything, okay, it works. That's how you deal with variables. Next, we have a look at another. So this time I'm getting the same, I'm expecting the same sort of calculations, but I want the monthly sales as a percentage of year, right? September and November. I've selected a couple of months here. So let's see how this time it's creating a trouble for us and getting 100% everywhere. Let me see how the measure is done. So I have used total sales, great. And to divide, I have the calculate total sales again. I have the month names over here. I clear the month names, and I want the total sales for that, right? So to be clear, let me also add the total sales measure, so we will know that exactly. Okay, so I'm supposed to get every sale for each month as a percentage of that particular year over here, right? I have done the calculation here, but I'm not getting the results. Okay, this is because of the dates table. Let me go back to the dates table and look at month name, which I used in my matrix in the row section. Okay, now what happens is, this is year month. Year month is a column which is text, right? To sort it in the right order, January, February, and March, I needed a supporting column, which is year month number, right? It is in number format, as you can see. This is text. If you go to sort by column, I used year month number as a sort by column. That's why I get it in order, but it has a consequence, right? When you clear the filter, you need to make sure you clear both year month as well as the column which you use for sorting. it's always associated with this column. So not only the month name, you also have to clear the dates, year, month. Sorry, I'm talking about month name, right? I showed you before year, month, but I'm using month name, which has been sorted by month number. Okay, so now this is correct. So let me show you the calendar. This is text. I've sorted this by month number, so I need to clear both. It's not visible basically, but if you really want to see how this is associated with it, you can use external tool DAX Studio. DAX Studio is a great tool. I use it on a daily basis with my work. Before that, let me grab this a measure that is behind within this visual, right? For that, I can go to Viv, say Performance Analyzer. You can click Start Recording, refresh. I think I have, sorry, let me clear this. I can click only this one, and this is the measure which you can copy. This is the query, basically. Every visual sends a query. Let's find out where that column is. I have my DAX Studio. Is it visible? Can you see DAX Studio? I've just opened.
Let me check on it just a second.
Yeah, hope
Yes,
you
we
can see
can.
my
Yes, we
DAX
can.
Studio. Yeah, what I just did, I just copied my query from the visual to DAX Studio just to investigate, just to make a point. Like, see, this is what is important. This is the query that is embedded within my visual. See, I get the month name and the month number, right? Embedded here. So even if you don't include month number in your calculation, it is going to give you. So let me do that. I will go back to this and make sure in my query I don't use month number, right? So this was the status before. I just have the month number, month name, right? So let me go back again to Performance Analyzer, start, and you can open and get the query from here, right? Capture the query, go back and paste. You see the month number here. This month number was not there in my measure, but I told you it is always associated as it is the sorting column. So when you clear, make sure you clear that as well. Okay, so let me close my DAX editor. Right, so to solve this, we need to put the month back. It's month number. This solves the problem. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next question. Percentage of product category. What's the question here? Calculate product sales as a percentage of related product category, right? Keeping only the product. Now let's have a look at this matrix here. Okay, great. I have category and product. So I have the percentage of sales here. This is a product sales percentage as a product as a percentage of category, right? In terms of sales. Let's have a look at the measure. The question here is like, I should be able to remove the category and still maintain the same percentages here, right? if I remove, the user doesn't want to see the category. So for every product, he wants that particular sales as a percentage of its related category sales, right? So 9.5 divided by 27 million. So if I remove product category, see the percentage changes, right? I don't want this percentage to change. So how do I do that? Let me go back to the measure. Let's see how it's been built. Okay. So first I take the total sales, which is great. And I need to divide it by, first I use calculate to change the filter context here. So total sales, then I remove the filter. All except what it does is basically it removes the filter from the specified table, except the ones, the columns that you mentioned here, right? It will keep the filter on product category and remove the filter from the whole products table. That's why it was working. So now when I remove the category field from my visual, there is no filter on category. So there is nothing to keep. So that's the problem. So to approach this, you can use the concept of expanded table over here. So one thing I'm going to do is remove this. I'm going to remove filter from products table. Products table, right? So which will remove everything from the products table. Now I want to make sure I pass the filter for the category, so that I am calculating, I'm removing filter from everything, products, product ID, everything is gone. Just I want to keep only the product in this case, right? Which is not selected in my visual, but I can still access it, right? Use values. Values will always fetch from the context. So category. So what did I do? I changed the context by removing the product and adding a filter from the product category table, right? Let me confirm this. Now you see a different percentage even without the category in my rows, right? 34%. This is not as a percentage of this total 63, but this is a percentage of that product category A, I believe. To test this, we can go and add the category again, right? Drill down. Sorry, it's the other way. Yeah. Now you see, even if I add or I don't add, it correctly calculates. Great. Let's move on to the next one. This is the last one, I believe. Yes. Okay. And what's the problem here? Percentage of sales units below 500. Calculate percentage of sales for units below 500. In this matrix, I have the products, the total sales. Then I have a measure that calculates the total sales, total units, here units, sales basically. So sales, let me reconfirm that. Yeah. I have this sales below 500. Yeah, total sales. So what I do is I calculate the total sales for units below 500. So I want to go to the sales data table, filter lines that are below 500 and calculate the total sales, which is fine, giving me the correct sales amount. I did another measure which will calculate this, for example, this particular value, right? This particular value as a percentage of 6.4, 811,000 as a percentage of 6.4 million, right? So to do that, I have created another measure, but I'm not getting the expected results here. Let's go and investigate what happens. Okay. Now I need to divide this particular value, 811,000, which is sales below 500. I'm looking at this particular cells here, right? This one over here. This is the calculation. So I have this, okay, sales below 500 is correct. Then I need to get this value, 6.4 million. How do I get the 6.4 million? Total sales, I need to recalculate it. Total sales, where I filter, I use, this time I use, this is what most people use, I have seen at the beginning, right? If they want to filter something from a table, they filter the sales table, which is not bad, okay. Sales table, sales data, units sold is less than 500. They put a filter, right? This makes sense. And then what they do, they remove the filter from products. So like we did before, you calculate this particular amount where it's this is less than 500. Also, they remove the filter from all the products, so they are supposed to get 6.4 million, right? This, right? But they are not getting it. What could be the reason? The reason is expanded table effect here. So what's happening? Now here I am passing a filter. I say take the sales data table. When you say sales data table, you are not referring only to the sales data table that you see here. This is my sales data table, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. This is more than 8 columns. This includes all the products, all the columns in the products, and all the columns in the dates. Why? Because we have a relationship here. We have relationship between these two, so it will create an expanded table at the time of defining it, right? So to demonstrate it, what I did, I just transferred this data to Excel. Andriano, hope my Excel is clear.
Oops. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah, this is my fact table, right? When I say expanded table, because of the relationship, what I have here in blue is my product table, right? This is there is a left outer join created automatically because of expanded table, right? Relationship. Also, I have all the columns from the dates table, right? So when you say sales data, you are referring to the whole table, the whole model basically, right? So I have product here. I use VLOOKUP to bring the value here. This is what happens in fact. So imagine if you have many columns, many rows, so you are calling the whole table into a calculation, you are basically, creating a lot of issues. I mean, it slows down your performance, right? And also it can give you unexpected results. So that's what happens here. When you filter, for example, in my previous example, when you filter anything, you are filtering the whole table, whole line, including other tables, right? If you apply anything, let's say product category, if you apply, let's go and see what we did in our example, right? Okay, so go to the measure percentage. I apply sales data, right? Sales data, sales below 500. When you apply below 500, right, units sold, right, numbers less than 500. What happened? It also filtered the columns over here, the product and product category, everything basically. So any filter that is set is also gone, right? So that's the reason you should not use the table filter. You should always use the column filter, right? So whatever filter that is set in this, there is a filter from the product, right? And that is gone over here. So what we can do, if you go back to the previous measure over here, see, this is what we have assigned in the calculate, right? The predicate, it's very simple. When you have assigned this way, it reads as this. It's filtering only the column. So filter, which is same as all, I can say, what do I have here? Units sold, sales units sold, where, right, less than 5. This is sugar coating here actually. What, when you specify only this as your argument for calculate, internally this is what happens. It filters, it doesn't filter the whole table and do it, it just filters by this amount. So this is also, this is correct, okay, for this particular measure. So we need to do the same thing, right? Let me remove, the best practice is this way, right? This is what you should do. And when you go back to the measure, so instead of filtering the sales table, I can just say remove this. Right, okay. Now what happens? I am filtering only the column that I want, not the whole table, right? I'm keeping other filters, right? Products is here, it's maintained. So this is what you need to be very careful when you use table filters in your calculations. So with that, I think I have come to an end. Do we have more time, Adriano?
Yeah, it's all on you there. And folks, let us know. Drop your comment on the live chat. Why don't we? Would you like to wrap the session here, and then you can continue with some more questions and or bonus material you may have for me?
Okay. So
Does
how
this
many
sound
minutes
good
will,
to
how
you?
many, yeah, how many minutes left?
Uh, it's up to you there, really. You know,
Okay.
you have some time here. You can probably spend another 10 minutes there.
Okay, fine. If you have any questions, please, I can answer.
Yes, we do. Have you covered all of them? Yeah, 12 is the last one, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there are a few days. The question from, and folks, remember, take a minute, use the live chat to enter your questions. And also remember to like, remember to like and comment to the section. Is this bringing you value? Let us know. Help us with the YouTube algorithm with your comment and like, so we can keep bringing great sessions here to you all. All right. As far as questions, we do have the question earlier from the gentleman here, from John. He was talking about the circular error. So
Yeah.
John here
There is a nice,
and
yeah, there is a nice article from SQL BI. I just pasted the link for you. You can share it because it would take some time to explain and understand. So I would like to, suggest he can go through there. It's a video and an article along with this. I just shared the link.
yeah, I got it. Let me place it over here on the comments.
Yeah.
So, folks, what we are talking about here is John's question. John is asking, sometimes I get a circular error when adding calculated column with calculated functions. Can you discuss and what it means and how to avoid? So we have also a suggestion from Steve as a kind of a band-aid here, right? So I'm sorry. Stephen here is answering or proposing a band-aid here as well to John by saying, if possible, add these two columns using Power Query instead to avoid the issue. And are you only able to do it in calculated columns. So that's kind of a band-aid there. And a solution here is outlined by Fowmy by sharing with us the link from SQL BI. So folks, let's take a quick look exactly what we are talking about here. Let me share the screen here real quick. And just a second here. You can keep your window there for me.
Okay.
And so this is the article here that talks about, that's the article on SQL BI website, folks, where you can go check it out. The URL is just in the live chat. I will also add to the comment section and avoid circular dependency. Oops.
Yeah, the suggestion given by Steve, I believe that's also a good one. Okay, so I think that will definitely, keep you away from circular references if you do it in Power Query.
All right, so that answers their question. Let us know, John, if that addresses your question there. We do have a question here. I can't recall free cover, but Venkat was asking a few questions here earlier. So Venkat, if I missed something, please do let me know, as well as anyone else there if I miss your question. So what is, sorry, not Venkat, Mohammed. Mohammed was asking the difference between top N and the ran X.
Okay. The difference is basically top N will return a table of top number of records based on an expression. Okay. In a table, if you want to get the top 5, top 10, so based on certain expressions, okay, top 5 customers, it will return a table. Rank X, basically, it will give you a single value, scalar value as a measure. It will give you, let me go back to my ranking measure so I can demonstrate that, right? Yeah, here you see it's ranking and returning one value for each based on the place. For example, here I have number 1 here. Why this is number 1? Because the sales amount compared to all other values for these salesperson over here, right, is placed at number 1, and this the number 10 ranking, right? So it will give you a single ranking result by performing a rank, but where top N will give you return a table. Hope that answers the question.
Awesome, great there. Let's let me continue down the road here, trying to do my best here to ensure that I have got all the questions. And oh, we have some good feedback here. So let's and folks, if I miss your question, please take a minute, enter the question here in the live chat, just to make sure I don't miss you there. Yeah, all right. You answered the other question here, which was in which situation we should use top N. Raul says, thank you. Just for your strict evaluation alone made the session worth it.
Yeah, definitely. That's most people are not aware of this.
Indeed here. Also, I see John here saying the alt arrow. Super awesome trick here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a question also whether you're going to share the hold on a
file
second.
that I used today.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can share it. Basically, they can reach out on my website as well, right? So I'll be posting. Anyhow, I can share the link with you. I have the link. I can share it with you.
Yes. All right. Great.
Yeah, so you can share it in your.
I will add just down the comment below, folks. If you're watching
Okay,
us,
I'll just share it with you
we
right
are
now.
gonna share. We are gonna share here for those in the live chat, and I will add it to
Yeah,
the video afterwards.
I just shared it. Okay.
All right. I see a question here from, and let us know if it has been addressed here. And the question is: rank salesperson by unit measure is killer. I still can't grasp the idea on top of my head, but certain I need to win on this, or better say, to win on this. Good one. Thank you for bringing that up. So you brought some light here with a fresh perspective here for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
And
And
I will share with you a link of the shortcuts. There is in the documents, Microsoft document section for Power BI. The keyboard shortcuts I use, they have categorized into uh, various section like DAX editor shortcuts. I just shared the screen as well here. So I put the link in the comments. You can share it with them. So you get for DAX editor for various interfaces, right, on visuals, on the application itself.
excellent.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on here as to Stephen was just mentioned. I feel like Microsoft should call them constant instead of variable.
Yes, it makes sense to call constants because this is obvious that this is a constant.
Yeah, and Stephen also mentioned that so many people make the mistake for real. I mean,
Yeah,
once you know that these are constant, you're good, but many people make the mistake of using variable inside a calculate statement. Yes.
Mm-mm.
And Krishna, we just answer your question where Fowmy here will be sharing the sample file. Yes. Comment here from he says, I think in terms of DAX concepts, being able to know the difference between filtering a table and filtering a column is very important. Indeed, Steve. That makes all the difference there when using the calculations there and functions, when performing calculations and using functions.
Yeah, definitely. You can also check using Performance Analyzer and DAX Studio. It creates a lot of overhead in terms of performance, right? It will slow down a lot if you are using the whole table. Actually, you should always filter columns, not tables. Hello.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, got stuck here on the buttons. Yes, definitely an important part here.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a great point here and something for you to consider too for me as a future presentation. And I hope that you come down to the South Florida Power BI to present.
Yeah.
And so Stephen is saying for me, it would be interesting to have a session on bad practices in DAX regarding performance and what are the best approaches.
Definitely, that's an interesting topic, and I really need to come up with a session. I can easily pick the topic. On a regular basis encounter a lot of projects where people make calculations without realizing it has a big impact on the performance. So that's a good idea. I'm up for it.
Yeah, thanks there, Stephen.
2020, 2022, hopefully.
There we go. So the idea from Stephen, you have here an official invite here to come back, bring this great and very interesting presentation, definitely there. So
Yeah.
thank you, Stephen. Looking forward to see that there for me as well. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Andriano, I have just one slide which I forgot to present. This
Sure,
basically
let's
the
do that.
best practices for DAX. Okay, shall I share
Sure,
it?
go ahead and bring it up. You see, Stephen, you even sparked some another bonus item here. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
How are you?
So, yeah, hope you can see my screen.
Yes, it says best practice. DAX best practices.
Yes. The first thing is format your DAX, right? So if it's not formatted, it's not DAX, like Marco Russo said. So if you want to format it, you can definitely have several options. The first thing I do is like go to SQLBI has a site which is DAX dot. Let me share it with you. DAX formatter. It's daxformatter.com. Okay. Where you can just paste your code, right? Let me just share it. Okay. You see my screen? You see the website,
Yes,
daxformatter.com?
correct.
Okay. So when you go and paste your measure, okay, you can just simply format it, right? Let me get any measure, right? For example, this one. I usually, when I type, I format and confirm it. Without formatting, I cannot complete a measure. So if you copy this measure and go to DAX formatter and paste it over here, say format. Sorry, I think I didn't give the name. It can also detect if there is any problem with the structure. You see, it gives you a format. You can choose if it is a short, long, different formats you can choose, right, to format. And you can just copy and paste it right in your next formatting. Okay, so let's get back to the presentation in the deck. Okay, so first thing is format your DAX. That's very important. Second, make sure you have a good model, right? See, I've seen with bad models, it's very difficult to write simple DAX, right? The complexity comes into DAX when you don't have a good model. You need to make sure you try to always create a star schema. Then that will solve most of your DAX problems. It will be easy for you to author DAX queries. That's very important. Also, performance when you have a good star schema. Then keep it simple, right? Don't try to overcomplicate your DAX measure. Try to keep it simple. Others can understand, easy to debug. That's one of the reasons. And then use table names with calculated columns, not for measures. So when you create measures, you don't proceed it with the table name. It measures get stored in a table, but you don't have to provide the table name and call it, right? For example, okay, when you call a measure, just specify the measure. When you call a table name, it's good to you normally get it with the table name, right? That's good. So instead of using table name with measures, use it with column names. User-friendly names and organize measures into folders. So when you name measures, make sure you can, spaces are allowed in measures. You can say total space sales. Like in SQL, you don't have to say as one word as total sales. Okay. So then organize measures into folders. You can easily create folders, buckets, and organize it nicely. it's readable, and then use variables, as I said before. It will increase your performance and readability, right? Use it carefully. We saw in our example. Use explicit measures. When beginners in Power BI, they don't create measures. They use drag and drop value fields, and it creates implicit measures, right? So you avoid that and create explicit measures. And then the next one is filter columns, not tables, as Steve said before, right? As we demonstrated in one of our examples. The next one, use a DAX editor, like Tabular Editor or DAX Studio to uh, create your measures. So I think these are some of the best practices that I can share. Yes, Adriano, do you have any
Awesome.
more questions to answer?
So, folks, let us know if you have any questions. Use the live chat. If you're watching this presentation after the live chat, remember, use the comment section. And folks, you're watching live and or afterwards, after the stream has complete, remember, subscribe to the channel, like, click the bell, and very important, drop a comment. Tell us that you like the chat. All right, so let's take a quick look over here. Oh yeah, that's an interesting comment here from John. He's saying, I tend to be very long with my measure names, so to minimize confusion. When I use them in visualizations, I change the display name to fit the situation.
Okay, so he's modifying it when he's using it on a visual, I believe.
Correct, that's what he said, yes.
Yeah,
So it
I think
fits better and it's easier to handle out there.
yeah, it's one option, but you can keep it not too long, too short, something meaningful, right? So that it stays in the model with the right name. Because when others use the measures, so every time you use it, you get to go and rename it in the visuals.
Yes. All right, folks, let us know if you have any final questions here as we reach to the end of this presentation. I am going to share one piece of information as we wait for your questions here. All right, so like just to remind you all let's take a look on what's coming up with the South Florida Power BI. Next session will be next year on Tuesday, January 18th, 2022, at noon as well. We are going to have Pragati Jain presenting on Unhide the Power of Power Query in Power BI. So also a great opportunity for you there to sharpen and deepen your Power BI skills. More to the
That's
side
going
of
to
the
be
Power Query. Go ahead for me.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Actually, Power Query is another tool where it adds great benefit for data transformation. Definitely, the session will be fantastic.
Absolutely, yes. Looking forward to it as well. And now people have just building their skills here. That's what we try to do. We're moving you're covering here the DAX part. We are going to be covering the Power Query and other technologies as well. But I also like to bring to everyone's attention another organization that we have here, and meaning that you can learn from is there we go, is our presentation tomorrow, where you all can learn about machine learning, where we're honored to have at the another user group called Microsoft Data and AI South Florida. I will share the link in the live chat, and I will also enter in the comment section below, where Alpa will be talking about machine learning using Azure Machine Learning Studio. She's going to take a low-code, no-code approach to build machine learning models. So, folks, check it out tomorrow. I'm going to drop the link in the comments as well as in the live chat. All right, so let me take a look here. Any last comments you may have in the live chat as we bring the presentation here to a close? And nope, I don't see any new questions here.
Okay.
All right, with that, I would like to thank you, Fowmy, very much for making the time to be here with us, sharing lots of knowledge. Outstanding presentation, very insightful. Glad to hear the great feedback from all the attendees. And let me know your final words here. And by the way, just hang on a second after we finish the streaming.
Yeah.
All right, so let us know what are your final words here.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you've given me this opportunity to present for lovely audience here today towards the end of this year, and hopefully they got benefits out of my session, and it gives me a lot of motivation to do future events as well. So thank you very much, guys, and I love you all, and happy new year in advance.
Yes, everybody, wishing you all here a wonderful holiday. And remember, South Florida Power BI, get back to us 2022, Tuesday, January 18th at noon will be our next presentation. In the meantime, I'll be sharing with you. So remember to sign up with us either in Eventbrite or Meetup. I'll be sharing with you great recordings that we have from Fowmy and other fantastic presenters that were delivered this year and last year. All right, folks. Without further ado, thank you all. Really appreciate the help. Stay with us with the South Florida Power BI. I look forward to see you all. And happy holidays.
Happy
Be
holiday,
well. Stay
guys.
safe
Thank
out
you.
there. Bye bye. Bye bye,
Thank you. Have a
everybody.
nice day. Bye bye.